Hi, Mia, and this is Sophie, and we'll be the negative side for this debate. Now, the first statement that my opponent makes is that in the significance claim, concealed permit carry holders are considered to be the most law-abiding citizens. That may or may not be true, but in correlation with the very first statement that he makes, that police prefer armed citizens, this is a matter that's up to debate at the moment, actually. In his case, he brought up an example where police were saying that they prefer citizens to be able to defend themselves and help them out in the field, while in Greenberg, the fire department there, which recently had probably in 2016 actually, they had a shooting in the Greenberg School District. The police department says that they prefer that teachers would not be involved in helping them when it comes to mass shooting and being able to hold guns on campus. Reason being that when the casual outfits are seen during the event, the police can easily mistake the teacher for a shooter, and that could cause more casualties than is needed. They much prefer that students and teachers stay inside and stay in lockdown rather than getting involved. Also, another reason they prefer that teachers do not hold guns on campus and don't get involved in these sort of situations is that, according to the police department, research shows that even highly trained police officers miss 7% of shots that are taken, and it drops to 18% when the suspect returns fire. So in that case, we have a highly trained officer or guard that's shooting and that has been trained to do that as their profession, and then you have a normal citizen who, yes, may be able to get some sort of training from that, but not to the same degree or to the same expertise as a police officer would. So that brings down those percentages to the much lower. And then the next claim that my opponent made was that studies prove the right to carry laws reduce frequency and the severity of mass public shootings. Actually, according to the New York Times and a research study done in the Harvard Law, there actually is no evidence to suggest that there's a correlation between concealed permit carry on school campuses and the reduced severity of mass public shootings. And then restricting law-abiding citizens from having firearms only keeps the honest Americans from protecting themselves and those around them. Yes, teachers and students, if they are of age, should have a right to defend themselves when it comes to these sort of situations. However, the cases that even though the teachers should have a right and do have a right to the Second Amendment, the at-will employment gives employers the right to place certain restrictions on employees. So Penny Venetis, who serves as a clinical professor for the law of Rutgers University and the vice president of the Legal Momentum, the Second Amendment can only be infringed by the state, as with any constitutional amendment. So a workplace that isn't a public workspace can say you can't do the following and you can't have a gun. And technically citizens are giving up that right to not necessarily not have a gun anywhere, but at least in the workplace, they're giving up the right to have their gun there because they are working for private employment. And then for this inherency claim, federal laws prohibits firearms in school zones. He brought up, 1990 President Bush signed into law the Gun-Free School Zone Act, which states that on schools, campuses, you can't have a gun, but this only applies to unauthorized people. So that would be mostly minors and people who haven't been passed by the board, the supervisors, or the council itself. So this isn't saying that people aren't able to defend themselves on campus, you can be authorized for these sort of self-defense, but the main goal of this law was to not allow gang violence to take place in schools, not to make people unable to defend themselves on school campuses. And since the law, he also states that since the law and mass school shootings have increased, in fact, since the 1970s, the school shootings have actually kind of stayed the same. School shootings of mass impact continue to be rare. Nicole Alley states that since 1996, there have been 16 multiple victim shootings in schools or incidents involving 4 or more victims, and at least 2 deaths by firearm. And also, comparatively, mass shooting deaths account for a small portion of gun-related deaths in America. The latest figures in the Center for Disease Control say that of the 33,600 deaths involved with guns, only 71 of them actually involve a mass school shooting. And also, the risk of dying due to mass shooting is also low. Lifetime odds of that actually happening in a school shooting is 1 in 11,125. And also, school violence has gone down since 1990. According, again, Alley and McDermott, schools are safer since they were in the 90s, and 4 times the number of children were killed in schools in the early 90s and to date. And finally, for the solvency claim, my opponent states that the timing is of the essence and that teachers should be able to defend themselves. However, militarization of schools in general have proven again to be ineffective, and that teachers will be ineffective when trying to defend themselves in these cases. And there are better options, considering that instead of taking the offensive route, schools should take the defensive route and implement more systems that are better for lockdowns, more stable doors and bulletproof windows, rather than forcing students and teachers to get involved in the process of having to potentially take someone's life by killing the shooter or potentially misfiring. But basically, there's a lot of other risks that aren't quite worth the reward, and teachers should allow the professionals to take control of these sort of situations.